Hello, welcome back to part two of Vision of Love. We digging into this. I had to give y'all a little bit of an open rebuke at the beginning of the last one. Wasn't expecting it to take so long, so it took up the most of our time. But I give you some nice pointers as I start to go through the song. So we're picking up where we left off in the song. I had a vision of love, and it was all that you've given to me. I went through a vision towards the end of that previous video, so you will want to go back and look at that part. But prayed through the nights for my ladies that the Lord gave you vision of this man, and the Lord told you pray. I'm about to tell you what the Lord did for me. I remember it was summertime 2015. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't 2015. It had to been somewhere between summertime 2016 and December of 2016, because he didn't reveal to me who my husband was until late that year. I was laying in bed one morning and I decided to get up, and I went downstairs and got me some green tea. I used to use a lavender essential oil that I will put into my teas. I don't do that no more because of the spiritual sensitivity that I got now. If I use lavender oil like I did then, my vision would be open so much. I can't tell you the things I'd probably be able to see then, because the lavender oil used to open up my vision. Really open up my vision. I can't even explain it. And what ended up happening is I fell asleep that morning. I went back to sleep after I drank the tea, and I had a dream of my God-ordained spouse. And at this time, I did not know who my God-ordained spouse was. But I saw this person. Now, they had been popping up in my dreams, but I was like, nah, not him. Because I see people of affluence and influence in my dreams. And my coach told me, who's another Christian woman, she said, oh, you see that because you're an artist. And because you're an artist, you see a lot of those people in your dreams. I was like, oh, okay. But this one particular one, I actually remembered having had a dream that I was sitting and having dinner with them. It was part of an amalgamation of a series of events that happened in a dream, but it was part of the dream. I was sitting there in a jazz lounge having dinner with this person. And I was like, I didn't think nothing of it, because I know, because I was a creative, I see a bunch of people like that all the time in my dreams. I figure, oh, I was listening to somebody's music. Oh, I was doing this. Oh, I was watching a movie before I fell asleep, so they're in my dream. I didn't think nothing about it. But this particular morning when I fell asleep, I saw them in a very peaceful, intimate moment. We were looking at the stars. And the reason I'm going to say that is because Diani Neves did a video called Night Under the Stars, talking about you're going to get an invitation. And in this vision, we were laying under the stars, just looking up at the stars. He was looking at the stars, and I was looking at him. And it was such a peaceful moment. And I was like, God, this, and this is the first time I'd ever had a vision that was so centered, meaning, and in the centering of that, I woke up. And I was like, God, what's this? And God gave me a series of visions. Back to back to back to back to back. That I saw of him, our children, me in the house, all of this. I was like, what the? And as soon as I saw that, I heard clearly, because I hear God very clearly. And when I heard clearly, I heard, pray for your husband. That's your husband. Pray for your husband. I got no other instruction. My instruction was to pray for that man. So, in continuation, felt so alone. When I first went to New York, I went through a season where I felt more alone than I'd ever felt in my life. The type of testing that I was going through, which brings me to the next line, suffered from alienation. I felt alienated. I felt isolated. I felt like, God, this can't be you, because why would you put me through all of this? And you're showing me I'm getting married. And it was almost like God would then, as hard as it got, show me another couple getting married. I'm like, no, you didn't just do that again. I remember one time I was walking across the bridge in Brooklyn, and it was this thing. It's a thing that they do. Married couples will walk across the bridge on the day of their wedding. Literally, they were walking across the bridge. One morning, they were just taking photos. I'm telling you, I would walk across that bridge. Can't tell you how many days in a row I would walk across that bridge and see another couple getting married, another couple getting their photos taken, another couple. They were passing me all the time. I'm like, God. I remember one time I had sat down on the bench. I don't even think I was on the bridge that day. I was sitting on the bench somewhere else. And I saw another couple pass me. I said, what? I went to pick up a Bible for my Spanish speaking roommate at the time. Stopped at the church to pick the Bible up. They were having a wedding. I was like, are you trying to torture me here or something, God? What is this? Is this some type of weird form of torture to you, Lord? I mean, the way God was putting this wedding stuff in front of me, and during that season, I'm like, you must be. Carried the weight on my own. A lot of us have been carrying this marriage promise by ourselves. They've been carrying it, but we've been carrying it on our own with the groupings of people that we have been surrounded with. We can't tell nobody. Who we telling? Who the heck are we telling? I think I tried to tell one family member one time about what I was seeing. Because the Lord had put a playlist of my God ordained spouse in front of me. And when I went and looked, 3 songs kept popping up all the time on this playlist. At first, I thought the playlist was only these songs. It was a playlist of 95 songs. And I swear to you, 50 of them were the same 3 songs. I swear. And it was a progression from I see you and I'm interested. I want to know you. I'm thinking of marriage. And now I want to propose. I'm like, oh. So, it had to be strong. God had to make those confirmations strong because he needed you to understand what he was telling you about this person. So you would believe. And now you know you're going to succeed when this thing comes to pass. God needed to show you in a way that you would believe it. And for some of y'all, depending on who it was that the Lord showed you, you ain't believe it. Sometimes you be questioning yourself even now. Be like, you sure I didn't just make this stuff up in my head, Jesus? About this person? Are you certain? Are you sure? Then he'll show you that person's name 15 times in the same day just to remind you. No, you didn't. I just showed you that person. Come on now. And in finding the place, I conceived. This can go multiple directions right here with this one line right here. God conceived the thought and impregnated the thought of you being with this person into you. But he also, just like Mary, impregnated the idea of what he wants to birth out of you in that relationship. Consequently, he did the same for that man. He's given that man vision. Emily just recently did a video, not a video, I wish she had, a YouTube post in the community talking about God's giving you the vision and you will conceive it. But he's given the vision to your spouse that's farther ahead of what he's shown you. Your spouse has the other half of the vision. And the Lord showed me in a vision years ago, it was like the point in time in which my God ordained spouse swooped me up. He showed me my old home. And I had to go back there to pick up my phone. And when I was there, he met me at that place. But he was pregnant with something. And I'm like, what? Some of your God ordained spouses have had a vision that they could not conceive until you came into the picture. It cannot be birthed without you. You have part of it. He has part of it. And when you come together and bring the pieces that you both have together, then it will be able to be fully birthed. That's why you felt stalled in what you were trying to birth, because God conceived a notion, a thought, not just of the person to you, but of your purpose to you. And in the two of you coming together, what was conceived in him as well will be able to be fully come to fruition, because together you can birth it. And part of the manifestation of manifesting what needed to be birthed is going to be the birth of your children. Because when you come together, you have been spiritually pregnant for so long. When that man comes to you and you have your intimate time together, you're going to conceive like that, because you already been spiritually pregnant. Beauty for Ashes did a video a while back, and she talked about when it comes close to the time for you to give birth to the thing that God is giving you, when your God ordained spouse comes into your life, or God is preparing you to come into their life, there's going to be a change. There's going to be a change in the way that you and even your body react. You're going to know you're in your marriage season. Some of y'all haven't thought about sex in years. Some of y'all ain't even had a feeling to think about it. And you know what I mean. You ain't had that feeling. But because of the fact that God's about to bring this marriage to pass, He gonna bring that feeling back. And you gonna be like, what? I ain't had these types of feelings in my body. God's like, yeah, I know you ain't had those feelings in your body for however many years. But guess what? You've been praying for your husband. Guess what? He's on his way. Just Emily did a I keep saying video. She did a post about a month ago where she talked about the women being in heat. And the reason is because the men are coming. And with the women being in heat, these men need to get to their wives fast, because God, now granted, we women, we go through our ovulation cycles every month. So if they don't show up this month, they're going to show up next month. But when you're in that phase, your spouse can feel you. And the Lord, for those that are about to walk into their marriage, the best way I can say it is He's opening you up to be able to receive and conceive when your husband gets to you. That's all I'm going to say. I can't elaborate no further. So, I had a vision of love. You've had the visions. Those of you that know, you've had the visions of your God ordained spouse. And it was all that you've given to me. God has given you vision, and you had to stand on the vision only that the Lord gave you, and trust that that vision, though there's no other evidence that this is your spouse, that vision is your evidence that that is your spouse. I've realized a dream. Do I really need to elaborate on it? The dreams that God has given you are coming to realization. Some of you, the Lord gave you dreams, just like I just explained, of my spouse. He gave me dreams, but gave me recollection. I'll even give you this. This is how the Lord confirmed to me some things in relation to my God ordained spouse. He showed me in a dream recently, my God ordained spouse and I were standing in the kitchen talking. We were preparing for something. We couldn't figure out what it was. We were preparing for blah, 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 blah. But we were preparing for something. And it was a whole lot of hustle and bustle in the preparation process for what we were preparing for. But my God ordained spouse said 3 words out his mouth. I said, oh, okay. I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, that's cute. The Lord drew me later that day, same day that I had this dream, to a video of my God ordained spouse. He was doing something, and in him doing what he was doing, he turned in reference to the person behind him, and said exactly word for word what he said to me in the dream. I said, go ahead, Jesus. Dreams realized. You're going to see manifestation even if it's not with you in relation to your God ordained spouse, as confirmation that God's saying, oh yeah, I'm talking about that. Oh yeah, I'm talking about them. So, and I visualized the love that came to be. We have been visualizing the love. We didn't make up these thoughts. We didn't make up these visions. Believe me, I checked. Sometimes I'll have these dreams and I'm like, God, is this my mind playing tricks on me? And God will show me another piece of evidence that's like, yeah, I didn't make this up in my own head. God sent that to me. Feel so alive. I'm so thankful that I've received. Your relationship is going to bring about a realization for you and for them that's going to make you both feel alive in the manifestation of your relationship coming together. And when it does, because of all of the toil, the suffering, the strife, the things that you had to go through in order to get to this relationship, you will be thankful when you receive it. The answer the heaven has sent down to me. I remember sitting in my room 6 years ago. It was in 2015. I remember turning from my computer because I'd been doing something a few moments before that, and I'd been playing some music. I turned away and I sat there with God and I said, I'm tired. I want somebody in my life that cares about me, that loves me, that's going to be there for me. It's going to honor me. And I sat there and I prayed to God. But something ironic happened. Sometimes God is answering your prayer, though you don't see it. Because the funny part about it is the very same person that I was listening to 5 minutes before I prayed that prayer is the very same person God confirmed to me. That's your husband. He didn't confirm it in that moment. He confirmed it over the next year. But in his confirmation, I said, that's who I was listening to that night that I was praying that prayer. God will bring it together. The answer the heaven has sent down to you. That was the answer. You treated me kind. Sweet destiny. When this relationship manifests, you're going to see that this person, and this is something that I've been seeing from a lot of the people that have been praying kingdom marriage related things, when it manifests, you're going to see that now God's going to show you how kindly this man's going to treat you. And you're going to see how sweet the destiny of your relationship with this person will be, because God will have granted this man the blessing to cover you. In the beginning of this song, I spoke of how God treated you. Now it's this man that's going to do that. A lot of us have been in denial, and I will admit, we've been through a lot of disgruntledness. It's funny, I was listening to D.L. Hughley yesterday, and he was talking about so many of us have been broken that when we see love expressed, he used a specific word, I can't think of it right now, in such a way that we look upon it as bad. We've been hurt. We've gone through so much. I remember years ago I used to watch Scandal, and the main character used to always say, "Love hurts." And one of the guys that was in love with her would always tell her, "You do realize love isn't supposed to hurt." The ministers I listen to, they even say, when God brings this love to your life, it's not going to hurt. Dana Ray did a video called "It's Going to Be Perfect," and God's trying to show you that it's going to be perfect. No, it won't be perfect all the time, but guess what? What you are assuming that you've gone through will be nothing like what you're going to experience with this person. The same for them. And God's also been trying to break them of that as well. That's another reason it took so long. You to each other are going to be the answer to each other's prayers, and it's going to be a peace and a love that's probably going to shake you both, because it's like, wait, you're not doing what that last person, wait, you're not. And it's going to be a level of peace amongst the two of you that you're not going to quite understand. And God's saying, yes, I'm not going to send you somebody that's going to do you the way the last person did. This is why I did all of that, because I needed you to heal. Sweet destiny, and you know that you did. And I'll be eternally grateful. You will be grateful for this relationship and the ease that the Lord's going to allow it. It's not going to be perfect, but there's going to be love and ease to it that you didn't have in your last relationship. Holding you so close to me. You're going to hold this person, and you already are. You're holding them closely in your heart. You just have not seen the manifestation. Just Emily was talking about that Adam has held you in his heart all of his life. It's just the manifestation of you had yet to come to pass. And when you come to fruition and is presented to him, the same closeness of the love being held in your heart and their heart will manifest. I've been seeing holding your heart, or holding thy heart in thy hands. It was a video that popped up to me yesterday while I was watching somebody on YouTube. You hold their heart in your hands and vice versa. You prayed through the nights, and you don't understand how many times they probably prayed through the nights for you. Because a lot of us feel like we the ones that are the only ones that out here praying, but these men have been praying too. The problem is some of them were praying for the wrong people and didn't realize it. Megan Michelle did a video, and she talked about how she was praying for her God-ordained spouse and was thinking she was praying for the man that she was with, and did not realize she was praying for the one that she was supposed to be with. And God was trying to snatch the person that she was with away from her. The prayers that they've been praying, irregardless if they were praying it with somebody else, they were praying it for you. And they didn't know. They thought they were praying it for the person that they was laying in the bed with. And God was answering their prayers, but he was answering it through you, not that person. Matter of factly, probably every time they prayed for the person, they thought that they were praying for the person laying next to them, and God would make that person act a damn fool in front of them. And they're like, what in the world? Because God was tapping that person and saying, get the hell out of here, please. I need you to go. And the person that did not want to be released from them, that was obsessively holding on to them, they were like, they were trying, they would act up because the prayer that the man was praying was actually hurting them. Because the prayer wasn't for them, it was for you. And it was like God saying, get out of here. Get out of here. Knowing that the one that I needed would find me eventually. He would find me. He would find me. They gonna find you. They coming. I had a vision of love. God's giving you the vision, the dreams, the notion, the understanding. And that was all that he gave you. But you had to stand strong on that vision. And that vision of love was all that you turned out to be. Everything that God gave you in the visions, the dreams, all of these things, they will manifest as God showed you. And it will be everything that he promised you that it was going to be. The beauty, the blessings, all of that. Some of y'all been having visions. I'm going to say this as a last note. Some of y'all been having visions of your God-ordained spouse in intimate moments. Meaning, especially now that you're getting close to your marriage. God's been showing you visions that to a Christian seems a little bit rated mature. And you're like, excuse me, God, this isn't it. Is this it? And God's showing you, no, I'm showing you that because I'm letting you know. Some of y'all gonna have to get rid of your religious spirit because you're gonna have to sleep with these men. Yeah. And then sleeping with these men. Yeah. And God's trying to get your mind right. It's like, oh yeah, y'all gonna be doing that too. I need your mind right. Because it's about to happen. And I need you to get out of your self-righteous religious spirit. Because if you planning on being married to this man, these men like sex. You are not going to be in your prayer room with your prayer covering on, praying to Jesus. Your husband's going to be your main contact. Because God's going to put the man